What is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. I am Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to be looking at the energy for the week for you. So via, the tarot, the astrology, and any channel messages that come through. So let's get into it. I hope that things are going well for you. We're just coming off of a full moon, new moon. I keep mixing that up. I don't know why. Freudian slip. No. Well, because there is a lot going on. A lot is transitioning. There's a lot of change, but you're starting to feel stronger. You're starting to feel more empowered and decided in your direction, in your opinions, what you think and what you feel. There are still some things that are being weeded out, however, and that's where we need to stay vigilant, stay committed to the path, so to speak, keeping your eye on the prize. And we're already starting to see some favorable things come in, especially around the astrology. There's not as many tense aspects, tense transits that are happening, and it gives us the opportunity to kind of just like nurture and restore, to feel good, to feel grounded and supported within ourselves. So we will start off with this energy cleansing, little blessing for you, little blessing for me, set the tone, set the vibe for the reading. It's also a really great time to set your own intention. If you would like questions answered or spirit to deliver messages, definitely give those over. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings as a side note. Tarot, astrology, mediumship, definitely hit me up if you want me to look at your specific situation. Or I do pranic energy healing and holistic wellness consultation if you need more of a rebalancing of your mind, body, and soul. I love to support. I love to give love in whatever way is needed. So all that info is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm, cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. All right. So welcome into the day. As I was saying that on the bottom of the deck, the initiation card. I do feel like there is kind of this initiation process going on, especially because you're feeling a lot more grounded, you're feeling a lot more stable in the things that are changing, or even in the things that just have been making life a little bit messier. You get it a little bit more. And Mercury and Venus move into Sagittarius this week, which I really love because it gives us the opportunity to expand our horizons, meaning not staying too stuck in what's not working, what's not moving, trying to problem solve something that just maybe, it's just done and over with, or energy needs to be put into new thoughts, new ideas. And what I love at the beginning of the week is we have a lot more harmony around those aspects in the astrology. There's a lot of support. There's barely any tension starting off the week, which is really nice. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but for the most part, it's easier to overcome is what I want to say. It's easier to overcome the difficulties that are coming your way, the things that might feel really dualistic, where you thought it was one thing when in fact it's presenting itself as something else. And not good, bad, right, or wrong, right? That's kind of the nature of life. And you are showing up in a way where you're learning to hone that power, where you're learning to kind of not let it put you down, right? Not like, even if expectations go unmet, you're still kind of looking at it solution oriented. Okay, how can we problem solve this? How can I, actually make this happen, make this into a successful venture? This is so funny. The fixation card is in the blocked energy this week. So it's been coming up a lot lately that these past lingering energies, these things that you're dealing with, people, dynamic situations that are unhealthy, dramatic, that are leaving your life, there's still this attachment, there's still this pull coming through. And that's kind of the name of the game, is because it's about being fluid, is what I'm hearing, especially beginning of the week. Not getting too, like I was talking about, because there is a lot of support in the astrology, making sure that you're building your foundation in a really strong and powerful way. Overarching energy this week is about the magic of life, tapping into that magic and not being afraid to expect the best, believe in the best, that you can actually receive it. When we're able to navigate these principles of duality, that's actually where we find successful manifestations, right? Because a lot of times we can get sucked into wishing something was the right fit, when in reality it's not. And we get those red flags, we get those intuitive hints, knowing that maybe I should pump the brakes on it, but we end up pushing forward with our own agenda. We're being more open, understanding that level of duality is coming from a place of balance, knowing that things are always going to be changing, and it's about being open to the flow right now. It's about using this time where there is more support to build that solid foundation, to look at things from a different perspective and really evaluate. Some of this introspection that we're doing is a little humbling, so be mindful. That can also fall into this place of feeling fixated on things that have happened, things that you can't really change. Instead, looking at it for what it is, right? Looking at it through the lens of humility, because we actually we're not taking as much of an ego beating this week, which is pretty awesome. So from that standpoint of humility, it's going to help you detach, right? It's going to help you detach from the emotionality behind it. And another point I want to highlight this week, which is really powerful, is the fire element is actually enlivening. Like I was talking about, Mercury, Venus move into Sagittarius, which is fire energy. Fire energy gives us the drive. It gives us the creative inspiration, the support, especially in Sagittarius, because that's all about expansion. So Mercury connects a lot with finding new things, new ways to connect, to communicate, networking, exploring knowledge, new opportunities, etc. And Venus is about connecting with what you love, what you're passionate about. I feel like beginning of the week, there's still a lot on your plate. And I feel like this is part of where this fixation is really working against you, because it looks like Four of Cups, you're dealing with someone or something that's just taking something for granted, taking an opportunity for granted. It might not be the best opportunity in the world, but I feel like someone's not giving you the benefit of the doubt, or they're just being really difficult for difficult's sake. And this is hard for you, right? Because no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you approach it, they're always going to respond in the opposite manner. And I feel like this is part of you that has maybe taken it personally in the past, been on the defensive around it. but you're also seeing through this pretty clearly and just saying like, okay, this is what it is. Instead of like getting obsessed with why this tactic and that tactic is not working, it's just recognizing it for what it is, because I don't really see you getting a lot of feedback from this person or like a lot of engagement. I feel like it's just a lot of victim mentality on their part. Woe is me. Not taking ownership of their own stuff. Yeah. And kind of, I still feel like trying to blame you. Yeah, trying to point the finger at you. Where in reality, it's like, I feel like you've already taken ownership of your stuff. And, you know, here's the thing. I feel like to some capacity, this person, this situation is still in your life, obviously, and you have to deal with it on some level. But this is all about that process of being able, yeah, I love this, end of the week, of being resilient, of moving towards finding that balance, that Six of Pentacles that we saw, moving into connecting with your divine nature as the week progresses, finding ways to work with people or situations, even when they're stomping their foot, even when they don't want to work with you at all. That's not really your fault, because I do feel to some capacity you are still tied to some of these situations where you do have to be creative, going back to what I was saying in the very beginning, where you do have to have those creative solutions around how things are going to fare. It's just, there's a lot of disappointment embedded in this. There's a lot of difficulty around acceptance is what I'm hearing. 3 threes. So a lot of waiting too. And we have 4 planets in retrograde right now. So it makes a lot of sense that things are a little more stagnant. However, as I was saying before, as the week progresses, we're gaining more in that fire energy. And so we're going to start seeing a lot of momentum. We're going to start seeing things lift, kind of those, not timeouts. I don't know, like just the heavier energy lift. It's going to start feeling a little bit more freeing, like we're actually seeing things happen. And this goes back to you midweek tapping into that divine energy of being able to see, okay, this is the duality of what I'm working with, then I'm going to still use the circumstances to navigate in my favor. Even if it does mean there is some compromise or collaboration where you normally wouldn't otherwise. You have this 3 of Pentacles energy, so use it while it's available is what I'm hearing. And you kind of just have to diffuse the other personal things that might be coming up. I mean, obviously, if someone's being an asshole, then you have to have boundaries. I'm not saying to put yourself in harm's way per se, because the 8 of Cups is being blocked. So there is some residual toxic energy is what this is talking about. And I feel like you are really working to overcome this. I feel like you really are working to pull yourself away from this. But at the same time, it's because someone or something is being so difficult, it leaves everything super open-ended. It leaves everything kind of hanging in the balance. And so maybe you feel like you can't completely have closure around this person, this situation, or maybe it's even just that value of you do still have to work with them on some level. And so finding ways, but making sure that you're not getting lost in that fixation, right? Of constantly trying to find ways for balance, for harmony, especially if someone just doesn't want to do it. The moon is negatively aspected to the North Node, so people are going to be resistant against or towards cooperating, especially if it's not on their agenda, not on their timeline. They're also just very annoyed with how things are moving, right? Like that moon square to the vertex point. because things are starting to finally come to head, right? Like all this change, all this kind of reshuffling in the astrology that we've been seeing over these last, whatever. I mean, it's been a minute. I'm not going to lie, especially if you've kind of been dealing with a lot of change over the past couple years. So a lot of this stuff is starting to come to head, and you do have to dive in or embody this energy of resilience, making sure that you are protecting yourself, especially because, it's difficult trying to work with people with situations when they continue to throw these temper tantrums. And Venus is tensely aspected to Jupiter. So we're not seeing people budge. People that we wish, right? People, situations that we wish were just like a little easier, a little less dramatic. They're not budging, they're kind of like, if anything, they're doubling down on the bad behavior. And that's where this 5 of Swords is coming up. They'd rather fight than create harmony, balance, solution oriented. And it does leave you hanging in the balance. We've seen this, but like I said, a little more movement this week, and Spirit's just asking you to keep pushing through. Keep pushing through on what you have going on, right? Creating, opening up new opportunities. The moon is a little tensely aspected this week, so make sure to be gentle with yourself. What I was saying in the very beginning, making sure that you're taking time to rest, restore, nurture, support. Don't just like go, do, or don't fall into that slump of complete depression either. It's all about balance right now, and it's all about taking care of yourself, because again, that is going to be the stable foundation that gives you that resilience. And maybe you don't see how strong you are quite yet. I feel like because some of this stuff, these loose ends have not been tied up, it's keeping you in this past energy, or making you think or feel that like these feelings of unworthiness or your credibility is not true. Where in actuality, actually, I love this. As the week, towards the weekend, there's a lot of like powerful movement. There's a lot of powerful change that's happening. Ace of Cups, new offers coming in. We'll look into this. Let me pull a little bit more on this. Okay, yeah, because, here's the thing. Someone's like getting the hint. Something is finally getting the hint. And it's a little scary for them. As much as the energy is kind of lessening in the overall astrology, and we feel a little bit more confident, we feel a little bit more put together at the end of the week, I still feel, like I said, there's this theme of things really challenging you, maybe triggering you a little bit, that's making you doubt yourself and all the work that you've done. Venus is square to Neptune at the end of the week, so that definitely confirms that value of like lack of confidence, or like maybe I wasn't right, second guessing yourself, not trusting your instincts, your intuition, especially because she's negatively aspected to Jupiter. And I feel like you're going to be dealing with people that are like playing with that energy, right? Trying to get you to believe something that's not true. You do have some clarity coming in, and I do feel like someone's offering you something. This does feel like more of past energy, because it's like they finally get this wake-up call. Like on their end, I feel like they've been fixating on the negative, and going after you with bad behavior, bad tactics to try to reel you back in. Well, there's a lot of realization this week that it's not working so much anymore. And that to some capacity, whatever this is for you, whatever you're able to do right now, you've chosen to like walk away and leave the bullshit behind. Yes, you will give what you can, where you can, but at the same time, you're not going to overextend yourself, because it's more important to you to connect with this magic, connect with actually like manifesting the things that you want in your life. And it feels like, you know, past energies, you know who and what this is. It's been harder to deal with than what it needs to be. It's more overwhelming than what it needs to be. And you are really kind of, I love this Empress card because it is really talking about you standing in your power. And there is some tension at the end of the week. There's not as many transits, which is nice because it gives, again, a little bit more grounding and stability. But at the same time, there's a little more tension. And I feel like when this conversation, when this offer comes in, it might be a little bit intense, right? We have the Death card, Scorpio energy, transformation, death and rebirth, things closing in order to bring in the new. And I feel like this is going to be a big wake-up call for someone. I feel like they're not really expecting it. I feel like they've kind of been hiding maybe behind some childish behavior, immature behavior, with hopes that it is going to get your attention. But, you know, I mean, you're really honing your power through this. Being able to see the duality present in all things, in people, right? It's very interesting how easily people will turn against you if things aren't going in their favor, if things aren't going in their way. And that's a lot of what is being uncovered, what is being revealed to you right now. And again, like, it sucks, but at the same time, you're more important to yourself than saving these dynamics where people are just, like acting out of these really low vibey behaviors. This is total seductress energy. That's what it reminds me of. And it's this value of kind of like seducing, but not in the right way. You know, it's again, more from manipulation, control tactics versus like just having a conversation, hashing things out. The calla lily can definitely be very poisonous, and that's where I feel like be really conscious and mindful of who and what you are dealing with and the boundaries that you do need to have. Because again, this energy of fixation, that hypnosis card was coming up a lot the last few weeks. It's a lot. Don't let it suck you in, right? Don't let it suck you in. You need a little bit more. I mean, okay, so with this Willow card, I'm seeing this as protection. You need a little bit more protection and serenity. You need to be able to feel safe in your own environment, in your home, within yourself, etc., to keep building on this change that is happening. Right now, I feel like this energy maybe has a little bit too much control over you, or you've been really trying to intentionally work it out of your life, intentionally remove it. And, you know, I love it because there is healing medicine in all of this. It's challenging you to empower yourself, to move beyond your limitations, but do so from a place of like peace and love, right? Not everything has to be so crazy, so low vibey, so aggressive, right? Like, we can actually be evolved beings and, you know, dive into the magic of life, cultivating those relationships, those dynamics, those situations where people actually want to work in harmony, in support. And that is coming. I feel like a lot of this is unfolding for you. And again, this week is about remaining resilient, being open-eyed to the dynamics that are happening in front of you, the places that people might just be forcing their own agenda or trying to reel you back in, but don't really have the intention on working on their end of things. Yeah. I was just going to confirm that with one last aspect. Sorry, Black Moon Lilith. is in opposition to Chiron, so opposition to our healing. So, you know, this kind of tricky energy, we got to be mindful. We're building a strong foundation in order to navigate it, and just be aware of it as it's coming in. So I hope that this reading helped. Thank you so much for your time and energy always. I super appreciate you, all that you bring to the channel. Definitely drop comments below if it resonated. I love to hear, or I love to just connect, share in a little love, little TLC. I super appreciate all the love that you bring to the channel. Thank you so much. It blesses my heart always. I'm sending those love and blessings back your way.